Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Karen and if you're new here, hello. I hope you like what you see and you consider subscribing. I say a lot, I've probably already said it about 10 times. In fact, I know I have. So yeah, I'll edit all them out, hopefully. Sometimes I'm a little bit too quick when I speak and I cannot manage to get rid of them, but I do try. I take at least 40 out of every vlog I do. And that's a 15-minute vlog, not an hour-long one. So I've actually got some sewing to show people. And I'm actually doing a vlogger thing. I'm wearing something I've made. This is the Stella hoodie that I made a couple of weeks ago now. And I've never actually had it on for you because I've put the tassels in. See if I can stand up and show you it. I do have a t-shirt on underneath it because I've just been walking the dogs and it's just a little bit nippy to wear by itself because it is quite a thin jersey sweatshirting material, and it's a bit nippy as well because yeah, I stuffed my face over Christmas. I've put it, well, it was about half a stone. I think I've continued and I've put a good £9 on now, so that's gonna have to, I know next week when I feel a bit yuck with the chemo I'll probably lose half a stone, but then that goes back on again. Right. So what have I got to show you? Well, I've got to show you this. Oh, and also look. I don't know if you can see it, but when I did show it in my Things I've Made vlog, and this was on the mannequin Vera. See if I can, I don't know if you can see that. You see the red marks? Well, that was a heat erasable pen. Top tip, always test your fabrics. But there was a blue on there that's I don't know why I did blue and red. I think I made one line, thought, oh, that's wrong, and I changed the colour and made another line, thought they'll both come off together. Well, the blue came off and the red didn't, so I must have used two different pens. But usually red is a colour I don't sort of work with, so I usually use the red pen and it comes off fine. It must just be this sort of fabric that it didn't like, and it's stuff. So I'm hoping when I wash this it'll come out, but you know, it's probably only a hoodie to wear around the house, walk the dogs, go to a little cafe. I'm not really that bothered. This is the Stella hoodie, by the way, from Tilly and the Buttons, out of a stretch book. Look at the size of that. You can't sound like Holly Hobby. Does anybody remember Holly Hobby? You can just see me beak sticking out, but yeah, it's huge, and that's not a problem I have with head stuff. I've got a massive head, as we see in the northeast, huge bonnet, so normally I need a big headgear bit. It's still a bit for me to pull that and pull that. I don't know, it's still a bit pulley here. I could do with a little bit, maybe a little bit more on the length, but you know, well, got hat hair anyway from this morning. Oh, what a clip. Never mind. So that's my first thing finished. The thing I did with this, I did this with the last thing I made with that Asta dress or something. I cut out pockets. No, I cut out the kangaroo pocket and haven't put it on. And if I haven't thrown it away with the scraps, which I have a feeling I have, I might stick it on at a later date just to put a tissue in or something when I walk the dogs, or you know, poo bags or something exciting. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. I like the fact that it's all bunny colours, and I've got my Jasmine Wow earrings, which I bought before Christmas. I've been meaning to show you these in all of my vlogs. I got 3 pairs. I got the green ones, some blue leaves and some pink hearts. And I don't know if you can see that they've got like sparkly bits in them, but I really like these, but I thought they would pick the green up in the sweatshirt. So that's Bex from What Bex Sews, runs a Jasmine Wow jewellery Etsy shop, and I think she does also some lovely pattern weights as well, so go in and check her out on Etsy. So thought I'd give her a mention because I was stuffed to bits with these. They're so reasonable. They have the proper backs and things. I haven't put them on because I find them a bit fiddly with me daft fingers, but they have proper sort of backs to stop them falling out. But I just thought while I'm wearing them in the house, I'll not put the backs on. If I go out, I'll put the backs on. Stop blithering, Karen, stop blithering. Right, so do you remember me telling you I was going to make the Indigo blouse, Tilly and the Buttons? Had the pattern for ages. Just shift that message coming off me. Had the pattern for ages. Everybody loves this pattern. Loads of people have made it. I've seen some gorgeous versions. I've seen versions in jersey, double, gauze, viscose, just everything. And nah, it's not for me. Unless I want to do the pregnant look, it's not for me. But I also made it in a fabric I got from Beyond the Pink Door, which I liked it when I first got it. I wasn't keen on it because the colours in it. There was other people got red and pinks, and I think I might have liked it more, but I don't know if it's just too much of a blah pattern for me. I mean, I'm going to totally contradict myself and buy some really loud patterned material next week. I can see it now. And then I had bother putting stay stitching around the neck because of my new machine, because I hadn't followed the instructions for my new machine. So there was just stuff going wrong with it the whole time. Also, when you did the gathering, you did 3 lines of gathering stitches, which I just thought was a bit gathering overload. And yeah, I don't think I like gathering on things. I don't like doing it. I can never get the gathers even, which you'll see. So I had to cut about, I mean, I looked at the length of it and everything and it looked fine. Do you know, I just wonder if I cut the dress out. No. Looking at her on the back, it wasn't that long. But it was long for the top. It was really, really long. I almost could have worn it as a bit of a mini dress. Not that I would at my age, but you know. So the fabric, it had the fabric not going for it. It had, for me, a Tilly and the Buttons pattern that wasn't as good as the ones in the book. Like this one, I explained so thoroughly. So this is obviously, you know, you're a step up from our books if you buy a pattern. Easy to follow, it says. Well, for some people. But it is down as a confident beginner, which I would class myself as. And I did wonder why the 3 lines of gathering stitches, but I thought they'll become apparent. And did I end up pulling out something? So pulling out oh yeah, that was just a nightmare. So that's it there. So you can see where me gathers on the front. Well, they're not even at all, are they? And this is said fabric. I don't think it suits me. I don't think it does. And then I wasn't going to hem the sleeves because I was so frustrated at this point. And I just kept thinking, I'm not going to wear this. I'm not going to wear this. I don't like the fabric. Oh, look, telltale sign of what I'm about to tell you. So I wasn't going to hem it. I wasn't going to hem the bottom. I cut about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches off the bottom to get it to a more top length. And I thought, right, we'll just crack on. We'll do the hems. And then I realised that I hadn't overlocked the sleeves inside. And I thought, well, do you know, if I do overlock them and I decide I don't want it, I can go and give it to charity, and somebody else might wear it. Somebody else might like purple and green. Is that the front? I have great, no, that was the front that I was showing you, yeah. So you can see what I did here. So I'm merrily overlocking the inside seam of the arm and took a chunk out of the sleeve. And you know, if it had been in a fabric I really loved and it had been a pleasure to sew and I hadn't sort of nearly lost my sojo over the fact that I'm not going to wear it, and I would have been really annoyed if that had happened, and I would have tried to fix it, but I've lost the will. I've just lost the will with it. I might, well, no, I'm lying, I won't. I was going to say I might try and fix it. I might put a piece behind or something like that, but it's such a busy pattern. Trying to find a piece that matches that I can stick behind or patch it or do something with will be a nutter nightmare, I know, because trying to see which way up I had the pattern to put the flounce on the bottom and the flounce on the sleeves, even that was a nightmare, just trying to match bits of the pattern up. So I thought I would like it more as a garment rather than a piece of fabric. New idiot. Anyway, I thought I would show you it. That's it there. I'll put a picture on, I'll put it on Instagram. Well, I might. Yeah, I might. If I'm putting this on, I'll put something else on as well. You might have to wait a few weeks for that. I can't figure out how to upload a picture to Instagram at the minute. I've done it loads of times. It's just, it keeps going back to the little reel I did of sea houses, and it won't let me add anything else. And I don't know why, but sun's coming up in a couple of weeks. The other son's coming home. They can help me. They will know. The thing I'm really pleased with that I've made is this pattern. And this is the pattern hacking I'm talking about in the title of this vlog. I don't suppose it's true pattern hacking. It's not like Alison from So Like Dotty does, where she takes a skirt from one pattern and adds it to that and tapers it in and matches it. I was making this version here, which is version B, but with the sleeves. But I wanted the wide tie, so to pull the waist in a little bit more than just a thin belt. And I'll pop a picture in. I did actually do the short sleeves. I cut the sleeves out and I put the sleeves in, but they were just very, very short. They were even less than what they appear in that picture there. And because this fabric is quite warm, it's a modal jersey and it's quite warm, and I should imagine with it sort of being the nylon sort of backing on it, that it would be quite warm if you wore in like inside indoors, you were going out for a drink or something, and in a pub, in a crowded pub, it would be quite warm to wear. It wouldn't be like wearing a thin jersey or a cotton jersey or anything like that. So I thought, no, I need longer sleeves. So what I did was take the Tilly and the Buttons Freya sleeves, and I thought I'll just try them above the sleeve head, and actually there was that much in it in some points. The actual 2 points of the sleeve head met, and I thought, well, I'll just cut them down, but I'll trace round the sleeve head of it. And then when I looked and I saw it was only sort of 2/8 of an inch, quarter of an inch, something like that. That's not worth it. I'm going to lose that in the seam allowance anyway. Yeah, I hacked it and I put long sleeves on, and I am so chuffed with it. So I'll let you see it. I haven't got a photo of me in it, but Vera looks lovely in it. Ooh, so there we go. Right, now see if you can see the waist ties. Ooh, get your wrinkly hand out the way. So there we are. And you can pull this in, and I can actually pull it in further on my waist, but you see how it brings the side of your dress round. So you've got to sort of sort it out so the fabric's at the front there, and it does bring the sides in and gives you quite a nice shape, she says, getting her belly out of the way. I overlocked everywhere, just hemmed the sleeves. I had a navy blue Mariflex thread, so I used just a straight stitch rather than the zigzag stitch. I did it round the what's that called? The neckline. Yay, I did it around the neckline. I did the hem on the bottom with a straight stitch, but I copied Viv Mum Sews and I used it bias binding and did bias binding around the hem, and I did bias binding. You can't really see it because there's black bias binding, but I did it round the neckline instead of interfacing. But actually the neckline on this, you did bias bind it, so I had no choice. But when I came to do the hem, I thought I would bias bind the hem as well, and I had just bought a load of black bias binding, which obviously because it's black inside it hides it more. I didn't want to bother doing the sleeves, really too fiddly to do the sleeves, but I'm so chuffed with it. I will try and get a photo of me in it and put that on Insta if I can in the next couple of weeks, so everybody can see it. And it is quite long. Ooh, God, get your stomach out the way, one. Let's see if I can take Vera a little bit further back. There she is there. I'm trying to get the good light from what weak sunlight we have in the northeast today. It just popped out. It was brilliant a minute ago and it's gone back behind a load of clouds. But there you go. I've completed my dress. I think it does look a bit, with this tie, it does look a bit like the kilo wrap dress. The only difference is you can't pull it around the back and tie it at the back, because then you get the pregnancy vibe at the front. And you know, a lot of old-fashioned pregnancy smocks used to fasten at the back, so you do get a bit of a pregnancy vibe. And it is a lovely thick, and it's going to be a lovely warm material, so I think I'll get away with wearing it now. As soon as my husband saw it, he said, "Oh, summer dress, a wear dress," and it is summery colours, and I get what he was meaning. And actually, I think I had finished the sleeves. There's the sun now, look. Yeah, I was going to say I think it had no sleeves, and that's why he said summery dress, and it does. Yeah, beautiful summery dress in yellow, lovely stuff. So that's 1, 2, 3 things to show you that I've sewed. Get me, I've hacked a pattern. I've used bias binding round a neckline, not for the first time. I did do it on a top ages and ages ago, but if you're interested to know how to do that and want an easy follow video to watch, go into Viv Mom MOM Sews and then put bias binding, and she makes a top with a sort of just a round neck, but she does it in real time, so you can see how quick it is. Even all ironing over the sewing harm and pinning it and everything, she just does it in real time. She doesn't speed it up at all. The only bit she speeds up is when she's trying to use her pinking shears round the neckline to sort of cut her seam allowance away, and it's such a funny angle. She says, "Oh, I'll have to do this," and she does it and comes back, and that's the only thing that she sort of speeds up on it. So you can see how quick you can do it and how easy it is, but she just explains everything really, really well. And I followed her instructions exactly, and even with my dodgy sewing it worked. So I highly recommend watching that if you ever want bias bind anything. A couple of comments that I got. The pink fabric I bought from Boys, which is, hang on 1 second, which was this, and I didn't know what it was. Michelle, one of my viewers, said that she bought it from Boys, and it's on the ticket it had cut and sew knit, which is marvellous, which I said to her, well, isn't that what we do to all fabric? So yeah, it's a knit because it's a bit stretchy, a little bit stretchy. You know, you couldn't call that woven, I don't think, but cut and sew, never heard that. Never heard that. But anyway, a lot of people suggested doing a Chanel type jacket, and I immediately started looking for Chanel type jackets. And then one of the patterns that came up was a Simplicity, and I've shown it to you all before, and it's a little white summer jacket, almost identical to a Chanel jacket. So I might just use that. I think they suggest to use like a cotton or a linen or something. So that might be interesting to see how that looks, but yeah, already have a pattern I can use, which is quite good. Michelle also suggested, because we're talking about the price of fabrics in this country compared to others, and she said she waits for sales, which is probably the best thing to do. But you know, when you want a pattern, you want it now, don't you? You don't want to wait for a sale to come along. By the time a sale comes along, I've forgotten what pattern I'm wanting. So she uses the Look system, and that's LUTTERLOH. And she says it's like an expensive one-off payment, but you get 40 patterns for £20. And she said she likes them all, and she finds the fit on them really great as well. So I had a quick look, but it was sort of in bed at midnight last night, and I couldn't make head nor tail of on my phone anyway, I couldn't make head nor tail of the website and what you were actually paying for. Whether it was I put something in my basket that was like £21, and I thought that was the system. But I've had a couple of boo-boos with subscriptions where they've taken the money again out of my bank account, and I thought, I don't want to do this again and upset Hubster, because he was just about fizzing. Don't buy anything again when you're in bed and whatever. So I thought, no, I'll have a proper look on the computer where I can see the website in full, and I'm not scrolling to the side and scrolling up and down, because I think that's the problem. I look at my phone in bed and I can't see what I'm looking at properly. I'm going to blame that anyway. I'm not going to blame the old grey matters, like diminished completely. So that was the Look system, and she finds that fantastic. Yeah, that's a good thing to look at, I think, if you're in a place that does really expensive patterns, like the UK seems to be. Letitia also mentioned expensive patterns. She lives in Australia, and the last time she bought a simplicity pattern, it was $23. Now, I don't know the exchange rate. I think it's slightly more dollars, but even $23 in Australian dollars, I think is flipping expensive for a simplicity pattern. Most places you can get them for about $10.50 over here, even in Hobbycraft, which can be quite expensive for some things, as we all know. But I noticed the fold line, they were all $10.50 when I was looking for the Chanel jackets. I think about $10.50 is about the norm over here, unless you buy them on Etsy, second hand, of course. And then I had a lovely lady called Denise, one of my viewers, who suggested for my green lumpy material that I told you the last time I wanted to make like a waterfall gilet. And I'd gone through all my patterns and I didn't have anything like that. But I'd gone through all my patterns looking for Chanel jackets and hadn't spotted this white one. So that'll tell you. And Letitia. No, it was Letitia from Australia about the simplicity pattern. I do apologise. It was Denise suggested this because, did I say Letitia? I don't know. Anyway, it was Letitia from Australia. I paid $23 for the simplicity pattern. And Denise suggested the Carlsbad. She says the Carlsbad cardigan in the So Beautiful book is exactly what you're looking for. And then it was only when she said itch to stitch, I thought, that's the book I've got. I've got that pattern. Couldn't believe it. And it's exactly what I meant. So there's the gilet version, but I do have enough to make the cardigan version. Now what she's made it in is a very, very thin, like jersey sort of floaty material. But she says, do bear in mind, the more stretchy the material and thin it is, the longer it's going to be. So that might work out quite well in my green material, which isn't very stretchy at all. And it's not thin jersey material, it's quite a thick boiled wool, but I'm gonna give it a go, I think, because that's exactly what I meant. And I've looked high and low and I cannot find a pattern like that for a boiled wool. Obviously, because I suppose a boiled wool, they're going to assume you're going to wear it in colder weather and you're not going to want a gilet type, you're going to want sleeves. So that would be the reasoning. What have I learnt about my new machines? Well, I still love them to bits, but I have learnt that my Janome 2000 Airthread 2000 overlocker My brother overlocker has a little bit you can take out so you can do sleeves. Hence the reason I cut into the fabric. I just wasn't paying attention. I was wanting to get the thing finished. It was the last thing I did before I could show you. So to be honest, I was rushing. And I've sewn sleeves without taking the little thing out of the brother one before. I've overlocked them and it's done them fine. I was just in a rush to get it finished and stick it on a hanger and forget about it, basically. But I'm quite disappointed in that. So I've gained air thread, but I haven't, yeah, but I've lost the ability to wrap a sleeve round and do it sort of straight through sewing, which is quite annoying actually for the money I paid for it. But there you go, I have gained the air thread, and that was the thing that was bugging me before. And I still have my brother overlocker, so I could always overlock fiddly bits on that if I needed to. I had a quick look. I want to order some more bobbins for my faff sewing machine, and the bobbins are quite unusual for this one. I think I ordered 3 different lots of Amazon and an independent seller. None of them matched these bobbins. I don't know if you'll be able to see, like there's a little groove just down from the top there. And I've got to find out, I've got to look in the instruction book what sort of model letter my machine is. It'll tell me somewhere apparently on the website, which I had a look on the website and it didn't. It'll tell me what the bobbin is I need to order. I can't see anything there that says it, but it might be more in the mechanics of the machine. I'll have to find it somewhere, but I've got you only get 5 bobbins, so I've got 2 left. And because I've got Mariflex thread still on that bobbin, and I had to fill it just before the end of the sewing, which was quite annoying, I don't want to waste that thread and undo it because it's Mariflex. The other ones I'm not so bothered about because cheap threads anyway. But yeah, so I'm going to have to order some more bobbins. And Amazon, as usual, were brilliant. I ordered from 3 different places. Like I say, if bobbins, they said they fit any faff machine. And no, they didn't. One was even in a packet with faff written on, but they didn't fit my machine. Also, the hole in the bobbins tends to go like that. And I don't know which end the little groove's in, but the groove slots into the little latch to hold it in place to wind the bobbin. But when I went to return them, one of them, they were all about the £10 mark, which for 10 bobbins from that was in the faff packet for 10 or 12.50, that was quite expensive, which I knew it would be for the faff machine. But they all returned them no bother, and they've put the money back in the account. It was absolutely no trouble. And then one of them that I got in a hard plastic case with about 30 bobbins. I mean, that went nowhere near, it wouldn't even fit over the spool. It was nothing like a faff bobbin. But they just said, just keep it, we'll send you the money back. So they're going on the swaps table at Sewn in Time. I don't know if anybody will be able to make use of them, but somebody might as well have them. And I think that's about it. I can't remember. I don't know how many M's I've said, but it's racking up, no doubt. I should have a little ting every time I say it, and you can all press the button when I say it. But once you hear one, when you're editing it, you hear every single one, and oh my goodness, it is so annoying. I'm just going to mention as well, there was a lady who said she liked the final outfit that I showed in my part 3 of my vlog of my pattern and fabric haul, and she said she liked it till she realised the trousers weren't, well, what I didn't do was turn it over. So the trousers are included. So yeah, so if you want that pattern, it's a Simplicity S9113, and that's another US pattern, which I think I bought from Hobbycraft. Yeah, and I think that's the one that had 8.90. Oh, and there's the other one I was talking about. That had $8.95 on the top of the little whirly thing that they were, all the patterns were in. I mean, there was only about half a dozen patterns for adults in simplicity. The rest were toys and kids' clothes. It had $8.95 patterns at the top, but then when I got the till, I'm sure that was $13.95. It isn't about that, never mind. And that's the jacket that I completely bypassed when I was looking for a Chanel jacket. So if anybody's ever sewn that, which is Simplicity K9473, 18 pieces. Oh no, that's all of them. That's all of them. If we can let me know how it went and what fabric you used, because that to me I think is cotton blends, crepe, block satin. It does say double knit, and it doesn't split it between the dress and the jacket. So yeah, so I've got my jacket pattern, I've got my gilet pattern. I did think, I thought that one, I showed this one as well, I thought that was for knits only. Lightweight cotton types, but it says double gauze or double georgette gauze, lightweight linen types. So I have some lovely double gauze. I have a one in a grey with a gold spot and one in white with a gold spot. I think it's a gold spot on both of them. And I'm dying to sew it up, and I think something like that would look great. I'm frightened to sew it into a dress, although I've got enough to make a dress in case it looks like a nightie, because I just look at it and think pyjamas. But I always do with double gauze, but I've seen people sew up blouses and everything in it, and it doesn't look like jammies. But that's probably what I would feel, especially if it was a long sort of floaty dress, like the Nomi dress, like sew over it or something like that. I would feel I was out in my nightie. So I just thought, I don't know, possibly even that little top with the frill down the front. I don't necessarily want very short sleeves. And yeah, you all know my feelings about balloon sleeves. So I was going through last night, I got all my patterns out that I showed everybody, and I thought I'm going to sit and watch telly and cut them out. But then I was making such a noise, rattling tissue and rattling paper and going through the patterns and looking at them and everything. And then something quite interesting came on the telly, so I decided not to bother. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to use my new desk, which when I was showing my sewing room, I don't think I said, this desk is from IKEA. I did tell you it was black and that I was sort of fastidious about not wanting it scratched, which is, you know, 3 years from now it's going to look like a road map of Britain, isn't it? It goes up and down. So even with all my machines and things on it, it will move up and down. So when I cut my pattern out for this dress, even though it was only 3 pieces. Oh, the other thing I did with that was it was meant to have a back zip, and it was meant to be cut on the fold on the front, and I cut the back and the front on the fold. Well, I cut the back out first, just assumed it was on the fold, cut it out and thought, I'm supposed to cut 2 pieces and have a back zip. So it hasn't got a zip in it, but it's a stretch and it goes over my head, so that's fine. But when I cut this out, even though it was just the 5 pieces, there was, yeah, 2 bits of the tie, front and back, and then the 2 sleeves. That was it, 6 pieces. Usually by the time I've cut 1 piece out, bent over the dining room table, my back would be killing. So this comes up to about this height, so I'm just leaning over, but it means I can cut the fabric off at the end, I can spin it round, I can use my rotary cutter if I've put my cutting mat on. It's, oh, I'm just in love with this desk, absolutely in love with this desk. I think that's all I've got for you today, but you know, get me pattern hacking, made notes for my vlog. I've had 3 things to show you, albeit one of them a complete and utter disaster. Yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. So maybe I'm not such a sew slower now. slow. Can't speak, but you know, I can sew a bit faster. Anywho, I'll leave it there. I hope you like what you've seen. If you have, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It would mean a lot to me, and it helps, especially if you give it a like, it helps get my channel out there and recommend it to more people. When I last looked, and I try not to look because it does depress me if I lose subscribers, I was 10 subscribers off 2,500. So I'd love to get that 10 in the bag with this vlog. That way it would just mean the world. So please subscribe, and if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. Hope you're all doing well. Have a lovely week sewing or wherever floats your boat, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.